Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizzano, and this is another episode of Online Marketing Moves, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you today? Listen, today we are going to talk about anticipation. Anticipation can make you a ton of money. Okay, so we are going to talk about how you can whip your customers, your followers, all this, whatever you want to call people, whatever you want to call your group. You know, if you want to call them fans, followers, customers, doesn't matter. But one thing you can do is you can learn the art of anticipation. The art of anticipation can make you a lot of money. Now, I bring this up because yesterday, as you well know on this podcast, as I told you before, I used to be a big wrestling fan, big, back in my young days. Up until I was probably 23, 24 maybe. I watched wrestling and then sort of petered off. But every now and then I check it out. Every now and then I watch it. Every now and then my brother, he still contacts me about wrestling. It's one of the things that we actually sit down and chit chat about. But yesterday I was watching. No, I wasn't watching. I heard that this guy was gonna come back. He's been out of wrestling for like 7 years. Then he went to this other company, AEW, CM Punk. I don't know. You're gonna check it out on YouTube. You can check out the anticipation, the crowd, how exciting it was. It's very exciting. It's a very nice build up. And it got me to thinking about you, and it got me to thinking about anticipation and why you should build up this kind of feeding frenzy. If you can build up this kind of feeding frenzy, you wouldn't have to worry about money. You know what I mean? Because you would make a lot of it. It's sort of like creating, and there's different ways you can go about it. It's sort of like creating a buzz. It's sort of like you saying, let's say you do a weekly YouTube episode. You put out content all the time, then you say, hey, today we're going to have a special. Today we're going to go live. That's anticipation. And then you can go live and people can ask you questions and all that stuff. You're building something good. You're building something special. And that's what happened yesterday. So I watched the whole 9-minute clip, and there was a lot of cheering. There was a lot of yelling. There was a lot of anticipation. I haven't seen the wrestling crowd this excited in a very long time, because wrestling is pretty much in the toilet at this point. But yesterday there was a very big buzz, and the people was all excited, and he came to the ring. He did his promo. People loved it. People was cheering. They was hooping. They was hollering. It felt like it was 1996 all over again, And I bring up wrestling because that's what I know. It's also and I'll give you some. I'll give you some moments of anticipation. I'll give you some moments of buzz. I remember I was 16. I think I was 16, 15, 16, something like that. Michael Jordan, he retired. And then I remember like 1995, he came back and he wrote 2 words. He put "I'm back" in a fax. And I remember this because it was during a Chicago White Sox playoff game that all this stuff started. No, I think it was, but all this stuff started happening. And it was like, oh, Michael Jordan, he's coming back, and everybody's like, woo. And I remember like the first game that they had of him, he was on ESPN. This is a big deal. This is a very monumental occasion. You know what I mean? And it was like, ooh, what's gonna happen? And Michael Jordan had a nice game, but I remember the biggest game. It was like he had a couple games, but then he went to the Garden. He went to Madison Square Garden, and that was like one of the most, people were spending a ton of money to get a ticket to go see Michael Jordan wearing the 45 in Madison Square Garden. And he lived up to the hype because he dropped 55 on the Knicks. Boom. And the best play was he made a pass to Bill Wennington to win the game. This is anticipation. This is creating momentum. This is creating a buzz, and you can do this. There's different ways you can do it. One way that you can create anticipation is actually being sort of a you don't want to be available all the time to people. You don't want to come off as and people will tell you, just be like be a common man, but no. You really a common woman, really don't want to come off as that. You don't want to come off as needy. You want to come off as always being readily available because the more available you are all the time, the less people will take you, not that they don't appreciate you, but it's less appreciation. It's more appreciation for somebody that's like, no, I don't have the time for that. You can find me on this, that, and the other, like there's a mystery, there's an aura. It's sort of like it's cool that like before, like this is why there's not as many movie stars as there used to be, like big time movie stars. Not everybody wants to be a star, everybody has a YouTube channel, everybody has a podcast, everybody's the star of their own movie, and it's kind of hard to have people that are stars anymore, like the superstar level is something that's really not what it used to be. There's not many like young Tom Cruises strolling down the road. It's not a like a Denzel Washington. I don't know. I see Denzel Washington here and there. He pops up, he does a little interview, and then he goes on. He's not on the Instagram. He's not tweeting a bunch of photos. He's not, showing us his everyday life. And I appreciate that because I have an image of Denzel Washington, and I don't want it ruined by getting to know Denzel Washington that much. You know what I mean? There's a mystery, there's an aura that I appreciate. And for you, you should have a little mystery, a little aura. You don't always want to be so. You don't want to always be, telling everybody, "Hey, I'm on social media. Hit me up." Blah 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 blah. You don't want that. You want some anticipation. You want some mystery. You want some buzz. You want to create something, that you want people. It's like being on the mountaintop. You don't want to be on the level with the rest of the common folk. You want to be at the mountaintop. You want people to climb up to get to you. You want people to, you know, it's like one of the cool things that, as I tell you, I get a newsletter every month from a guy named Ben Settle. And one of the cool things about him is he you can send him a question, but only if you're a member of his email player. If you're an email player subscriber, he'll answer your question. He said he doesn't answer questions from people that are just on this email list. And I thought that's kind of cool. At first I thought I was like, man, it's kind of rough. But the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? That creates an aura, that creates a mystery, that creates you know, a hey, if you're not gonna sign up, why should I communicate with you? And I understand that and I get that. And it's like, okay, that's cool. It's sort of like, more I think about these questions that, because my wife, she made a suggestion that we do a question of the day. And I'm thinking, eh, I'm just thinking about it. It's weighing in my mind. I'm like, should I do it? Should I not do it? Because I don't want people to think they can just regularly reach out to me all the time. Of course, we're gonna filter through the questions. And every question is not gonna get answered, but you know, there there has to be a level. There has to be a level of we're not on the same playing field. You know what I mean? There's a status level that when you want to go higher up, that you want to be at. You don't want to be on the ground, like I said, with the common folk. You don't want to you're not Tim the Tool Man Taylor. You're not the everyday common man. You know what I mean? That's it. It can work, but does it work? Not all the time. Not really. It doesn't. Being the mystery, being the aura, being the CM Punk of the world. disappearing from wrestling for 7 years and then popping back up 7 years later. That's quite a bit of anticipation. That was quite a bit of buzz. There's a reason why people, before Mike Tyson got knocked out, there's a reason why people paid $59 to watch him beat somebody up in a minute, because there was a mystery, there was a buzz, there was a can this guy lose? Can this guy be beat? And he just came down the ring with black trunks. He didn't say a whole lot, didn't do a whole lot of talking, and it was very mysterious. It's very it's the aura. And there's something to that. There's something to auras, there's something to anticipation, there's something to all that. It's something to being on a higher level. Not that you're better than anybody, don't mistake the words, but you want to position yourself. You want to position yourself, on the upper level. The more you position yourself on the upper level, the more money you will be able to make. You know what I mean? The more you will be able to charge, the more you will be able to, have a certain status. All right. So don't strive to be the common folk. Do some anticipation. There's a variety of ways. If you've never anticipated anything, just look up different. Go to different, like, I'll tell you, like in the 90s, Dallas versus San Francisco. There was an anticipation. There was a big buzz around around those matchups. The Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. It was anticipation when Michael Jordan went up against the Knicks. There's an anticipation for a CD. You remember music when they had CDs? That was an anticipation. There was a buzz about a certain CD. I remember stomping around and waiting on Jay-Z when he dropped the Blueprint in 2001. There was a buzz. There was anticipation. People was like, this is a great album. We went out, and I was in the Navy. We went out and bought the first week. The first week we was able to get off the boat after 9/11. There was anticipation, and buzz, auras, anticipation, all this stuff can create you a status. It can create you a very nice lane. You will be able to generate a lot of money, and try to separate yourself from people, from the group. Be the leader. Separate yourself from the group. Don't. I'm not saying you talk down to anybody and all that kind of stuff. We all know that, but you want to separate yourself, create some anticipation, create some buzz, create an aura about you, and you would see money start to roll in. All right. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We'll be back tomorrow for all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, my name is Tony Rizzano. Thank you for listening, and as always, everybody, peace.